Hi, how's it going?
I'm great, thank you. Hope you too.
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
My pleasure. Always my pleasure.
Well, it's great to be able to talk to you again. We talked a few years back, but it's great to be able to catch up here and talk about this great new compilation that's just going to be coming out in a few weeks now through Steamhammer and SPV.
That's right. Yeah, I enjoy it too.
So, thinking about that, I mean, since this is the sixth collection of the ballads, I mean, what is it like for you to be able to have six of these compilations showing off like the slower, softer side of what you do?
I don't know. I don't have a clue to be honest. When we did release the first ballad, it was way back in 1993. It was an experiment, because I have a few neighbors who always say, heavy metal or hard rock music is not our thing, but the ballads you do are really cool. Why don't you release just an album only with ballads for people like us? And that was an experiment, and the record company released it. It became the most successful ARP record till this time. I said, wow, Jesus Christ. And nowadays, when I look back, I mean, the series continues with the ballad. When I look at Spotify, the I can look back 8 or 9 years. The most streamed songs out of the top 10, nine of them are ballads. I was really surprised when I looked at it and said, well, not a fast track, not an epic track. No, the ballads are the most streamed ones. I said, okay, let's continue with that.
And it's a cool feeling behind that too, because I love the fact, it's like nine of the 10 are ballads, but the other track is a nice, fast, heavy song, and it's great to be able to have that balance going on between the top 10.
That's right, exactly. I mean, even between position 11 and 20, there are a few more ballads in it, but it's a mixture, fast rocking tracks, epic tracks, whatever. Yeah.
So thinking about that as well too, I mean, obviously with picking out songs, original material covers, a brand new cover that shows up in this compilation. Like,
Yeah.
how did you go about deciding what was going to make it in this compilation?
I'm always collecting these ballads which I wrote since the last ballad compilation went out. So I had, I think, three studio records, and of course there were ballads on it. Of course, this would be a must for this compilation. But on the other hand, I'm always thinking about it's. I have to write a few more songs, and as lucky as I am, I collected a few ideas for ballads. It was very easy for me to bring them to the end to make a complete song out of my little ideas. So it was very obvious that this time we don't even have three more tracks. This time we had five more ballads. Normally we only recording three new ones and that's it. This time we have five new ones, two instrumentals, two cover versions, and one song with vocals. It was like I don't know, the magic was in the air. That was right.
And it definitely feels right. I mean, of course, being able to keep up with the albums, specifically on this compilation, knowing the previous albums, it was great to be able to see those songs picked out and put in this compilation because they fit so well on the original albums, but they fit together so well in the compilation as well.
That's right, because I'm a genius. I can't explain, you're absolutely right. At first, I mean, the main thing is that I always put the brand new tracks in front. The first five tracks are brand new, recorded, and the rest is from the older records. But anyway, it has to be in a psychological good direction. And I think it worked out cool.
So thinking about that as well too, I mean, obviously with the original material, it's like you want to make sure that they fit so well on the album, and then you also throw in covers as well. Like, how do you go about deciding what kind of cover that you want to be able to record?
I'm making a list. I'm making putting the songs for 5 to 10 tracks, whatever. I say, wow, this is a cool song. We can change the arrangement maybe a little bit and make it more ARP style. And then I send my list to the other guys in the band and say, what do you think about that? And normally you will say, well, no, no, not that song. I hate it. No, please don't. And on the other hand, I'm always picking that song which everybody liked. It happened with this time with Joan Baez track, Diamonds and Rust, and the Kansas song Dust in the Wind. Especially Dust in the Wind. Johnny really loves that track. Johnny's a singer. He said, when you listen, he said, wow, I have it in mind right now. I can feel it. This is so great. It will be so huge. And he did his very best on the track. I mean, he's doing his very best, but this special track fits perfectly to his voice. And he loved recording it. It's all with Diamonds and Rust, the same. Where the lady helping us out in the choir, in the chorus, which was not on the original, of course. It's not on the Priest song on the cover version, but we have it. Sounding a little bit different, but I love them all. What can I say?
And that's what I appreciate about when you do covers is like it is the song, it's the same structures, but you change it just enough to make it your own, and I really appreciate that.
Exactly. When we're doing covers, it has to sound like it was an original track written by myself. I always have this in my mind when I go into cover version, and it worked.
Yeah, and the variety that goes along with it too. I mean, you look at Kansas, you look at Diamonds and Rust, you look at Tom Jones, you look I Put a Spell on You. It's like they're a very different variety of songs, but
Right.
again, like you put your own spin onto it and it does feel original. And I love the fact that you can take it from all these different genres and make them your own.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. But I'm always doing that, like you tell, yeah, tell me, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And like you mentioned before, it's like you want to be able to show off John and his vocal style. Like he really be able to shine throughout this entire album. And again, like when you're going through the previous albums and you're doing new material as well too, and a couple instrumentals as well, of course, throughout the album. But it's just like you really know how to make everyone shine throughout the album as well too, whether
Yes.
they're just playing four to the floor or it's a song specifically meant to make them shine, or yourself as well.
Yeah, I know it because that's the reason why I'm my own producer. I'm not only the guitar player of the band, whatever who writes the song, but when we're in the studio, I always make sure that everybody feels great recording this, and everybody has to put his own style into playing too. Sometimes I can't play drums, for example, but Bobby is the same taste as myself. When we get together in the studio, it doesn't matter if it's a cover song or original ARP song. When we get together, Bobby always knows from the first start. He listened to the first riff. He said, "I know exactly what you want me to play there, baby." And he started hitting the drum and said, "Great, great. Change this a little bit or whatever. But it's 95%. It's the same like it's the same like maybe if I would sit behind the drum kit, I would play the same. It's same with the other guys. And Freddie knows we know each other since I don't know 167 years. Almost 168 years. So always the same, with the bass player, with Volker too, and always cool. With Johnny too, Johnny always told me, Axel, I don't like to write lyrics because you from Europe, you have this big, huge background with the castles and kings and stuff. We don't have this in America. And I can when I start writing the lyrics about California beach girls, you don't want to have it. You say no, no, no. I say okay, please write the lyrics by yourself. I just he's going through grammatically wise, saying oh you can't say this or whatever. He's always changing that. But I lost it. What was the part of the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, oh, it was just about like making sure everyone shines throughout the album,
Yeah,
whether it's yourself
100%.
or everybody else.
Exactly. If Johnny would tell me, Axel, can we change the key of the song because it's too high or it's too low, whatever, I would do it. Everybody has to feel perfectly in what he's doing when recording. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So, thinking about that as well too. I mean, obviously, with going between the faster songs, the heavier songs, the ballads. When
Yeah.
you're writing new material, like, do you think about like the? I mean, obviously, with the now 6 compilations of the ballads, like, do you think of that ahead of time, like making sure that it's going to work well in that compilation, or do you make sure first and foremost that it just fits well with the album?
No, I don't give a shit about the next record. So it could happen that maybe on the next record there isn't one ballad on it. If I don't have the right feeling to write a ballad, I don't have a good idea. I don't sit down and say, "No, I have to write a ballad." I won't do that. It will not happen for me. So I don't give a shit about the next record. So when there's not a ballad on the next record, maybe there's not one ballad on the next record afterwards. I don't mind. Maybe then the next ballad compilation will be out in 15 years or 12 or whatever. I don't have to follow these rules or whatever. No.
I'm so glad to hear that too, because I feel it's so important to be like when you're writing the current album, you want to make sure that it's going to sound the best that it possibly can be. Make sure
That's
that you
right.
have the right people behind it.
That's right. It doesn't matter which genre, if it's a better track, if it's a very fast track on it. It could happen that there are 10 very fast tracks on the next record. When I feel, oh, this is the greatest I have at the moment, I will put it out. So who cares? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just like the range that you're able to write in, whether it's original material, covers, ballads, faster songs.
Right.
I mean, it's great looking behind all of these songs on here. And I do love the ballads that you write, but one of my favorite songs that you've ever done is Tower of Lies. And that's a faster, heavier song. And I
Which one?
appreciate
Which
oh,
song?
sorry.
Which song did you mention?
Tower of Lies.
Ah, Tom, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It was the
Yeah,
first record
yeah.
with Bobby. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite songs that you've written, and it's a faster, heavier track on there.
Right.
And
Right.
again, it's just like even though that the ballads are so successful
Yeah.
over the decades, that you still love being able to write more than just that. You love being able to show all sides of your personality.
It's exactly. Yeah. 100%. You got it.
Another thing I really appreciate about this compilation, I really like the album cover as well too. I love the fact that it's a heart with the infinity logo on
Right.
there. I think it just really fits with the overall mood of the compilation.
That's right. I love it too. You know what happened when I showed this? Actually, the sketches of the cover. I always go to my wife and the kid. I say, "Look at this. What do you think about it?" And our daughter said, I mean, she's 27 at the moment. She said, "Oh no, you can't do this because everybody has this tattoo somewhere. This is just a thing from the past. Don't do it." And I said, "No, maybe she's wrong. And when the final cover was done, but they liked it, but the people getting this really say, like you said, wow, this is fucking great, this infinity sign with the heart and stuff. It's so great. And yeah, I think a lot of people will have this as a tattoo in the future too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I totally expect you seeing pictures in the future with you showing off on there, showing that specific logo on there. I mean, it
right.
looks like
Yeah,
it's meant to be a tattoo on somebody.
that's right. Yeah. I don't have a tattoo right now, but maybe in the future, I don't know.
S- So, thinking about that as well too. I mean, obviously, again, with being able to do this six compilation of ballads, like, are you already writing for the next original album?
Oh yeah, sure. Because I'm always writing stuff. When for what happened was when I closed the studio door for the last real studio album, the Lost 23. I came home, I repacked the gear in my working room, and I picked out the one guitar, just played it, and said, "What the fuck is it? That? What is this?" And I already had two riffs on one day for the next record already done. And I recorded it on my cell phone recorder, and later I put it in my on my computer. But anyway, I'm still writing. I'm writing every time I pick up the guitar and something good comes to my mind. Something's happened that, ooh, this is shit, I don't want to record that anyway. But I'm collecting and collecting, and then I sit down. Probably I think we will be back in the studio around at the end of this year, with a record coming out next spring. And I'm sitting there around late August, beginning of September, and sitting and making a big notes on a piece of paper when I'm listening back to all these little snippets and ideas I had recorded before, 2 years in between, a lot of shit going on there. Sometimes they are great, and I sit there and say, "Well, idea number 38." I make notes, maybe F sharp. It's in F sharp minor, fits perfectly to the idea number 27 or 72 or whatever, And I put these little things together, and then I make the real songs out of it. Yeah.
And how hard is that for you? Like when you go back and listen to all the ideas that you collected, like how hard is it to pick and choose what you want to be able to make a song or be able to continue with in the future?
The main thing is that these little ideas I listen back at that special time. They have to get me um, as as strong as they got me when I first wrote it, when I first played it. I don't listen back to any ideas. When I'm, for example, when I have let's say 127 ideas right now, I don't go into my computer and listen now to these tracks. I won't do that. I only doing that at the end, at the very end, when I'm sitting down and collect and putting these things together. Sometimes it happens that I say, "Well, this idea number two or whatever." No, I mean maybe it was great when I recorded it, but it's not happening at all. So I put it away. I erased the idea. I delete it from my computer, and it's gone forever. So it's very tough to make a decision which are the right ones, which really get me, and not only me, the others too, and the audience too. So sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes I write riffs like, "Oh, this is not my kind of genre. This had nothing to do with hard rock, metal, or whatever you call it." I said this could be a pop song, and I say maybe I can change it a little bit with a more distorted guitar, with a few accents from a hard rock genre or whatever. If it works, it works. But I find out when I'm doing my demos at home, You know, when I'm putting these songs together and when I have this track, I say, no, I can't do it. I put it away. Give it to somebody else, for example, but I can't use it by myself, you know, for whatever reason. Yeah.
Thinking about that particular thing, is there any examples where that actually did work out, where you felt like it wasn't going to fit, but you messed with it just enough and it did work out?
Yeah, it did work out. I remember that when I wrote the record "Sign of the Times." I think I wrote it in 2000. I think I wrote it in 2019, and it came out in 2020. It was just, I think it was released at the beginning of the pandemic thing. Yeah, and I had this track called "Bad Reputation," and I had this riff, you know, and I said, "Wow, this is sounds so much like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I can do it," you know. I said, okay, let's play with a more distorted guitar. I played it more distorted, and I got a typical ARP rhythmic pickup thing, and I played it. I said, this is great. I will do it. You know, it worked out pretty good. The people loved it. You know, yeah,
And I love that. I mean, you didn't instantly throw it away. You wanted to be able to
right.
see if you could make it work. And,
That's right.
sometimes that does work.
Because it was a great riff. I knew it was a great riff, but it was so much out of ARP. You know, so I had to change it so much that it fit, and it worked out cool. So yeah, but sometimes it doesn't work. So
Oh, of course. But, especially with how many albums you've been able to put out over the years and,
yeah,
knowing the style and the formula you want to be able to make it work, what's going to work and what doesn't. But, sometimes that extra experimentation does work out for its benefit. And I'm glad to see in that particular example, it did work out because
right.
I thought that was one of the highlights of the album.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. So again, with this coming out in just a few weeks now, and you said that you're in the midst of like coming up with ideas, and then later in the year you'll be checking out those ideas to see
Right.
what eventually makes the album. Is
Yeah.
there anything else to look forward to that's going to be coming up?
I know we're going on the road. I think we're starting at the 24th or 3 days after the record will be out. We're starting our second part of the European tour, which runs through, I think we will be back at middle or end of May or somewhere. Yeah, and then I will collect more ideas, riffs or whatever, and I sit down doing the next record, which will be out next spring. Next spring there will be another tour, which will follow up by a lot of festivals during 2024. You know, we didn't play, or we won't play any of these huge festivals not this year because they're always changing the bands from one year to another because of the pandemic thing, you know. So unfortunately there wasn't any place for us this year, but I don't care, you know. We were back on the road then in 2024, covering. I think we will play Wacken again, you know, I think for the seventh or eighth time, I don't know, on a big stage, you know, and any other festival. So yeah, looking very much forward to it.
And you'll also be promoting the new album, I imagine, by then as well too. So that's good timing.
Yeah, exactly. It will be out before we do the over next tour. Of course, there will be another record out. Yeah, hopefully we'll hit the German charts at number one this time because last time we only been at number two. It was so disappointing.
So thinking about that as well too. I mean, getting back on tour after the pandemic and being able to finally play shows again. Like,
Yeah.
how has that changed you? Like when it comes to like songs that you play for the show, or like prepping for the show, or anything like that. How has the pandemic changed for you since getting back on tour?
We really didn't change much. I mean, I made a new set list, of course. We can't play the same song that we did in 2019. But anyway, the set list, it contains a lot of our classic stuff, songs which the people, if we don't play the songs, you know, people will go nuts. You know, we have to play Rock Nation, we have to play Masquerade Ball, of course, we have to play Mystica because the people expecting it. If we're not playing it, oh, why don't you play that? You know, so it's very tough to find a new set list. But I'm always getting songs which was older tracks, maybe which we didn't play live at all, or very rarely played. Sometimes I throw in some of the older tracks, and of course, and brand new tracks from the last record, of course. And it's a good combination, I think. I remember that when we finished the first leg of the tour at the end of September last year, the people said, wow, that was a fucking amazing set list. Please don't change it. You know, it was so great. I think I have to change it when the next record will be out. Of course, you want to play new tracks. Yeah, well, please keep that track, keep that tracks. I said, okay. So we're playing the same set list, second leg of the tour like it was in the first leg because it worked out cool, you know. And yeah, did I answer your question? No, no.
But But that's so great that you do think about that, especially when it comes to like the set list. Like, for the album cycle or the touring cycle, whatever the case is, like you want to be able to throw in the classics. You want to be able to play in the songs that you want to be able to play, new
Right.
songs you want to be able to throw in,
Yeah.
and especially with the extensive
Yeah.
song list that you have over the years. I can imagine how hard that is. But I'm glad that you're still able to mix it up.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, you can't have everybody's lucky, you know. Of course, you have a few people are complaining, you know, why didn't you play that track? It's my favorite track because maybe write me a letter and give it to me. Maybe I put it in the next set. No, whatever, you know. It's so tough, but I think we're on a good way.
Yeah, and it's just I'm glad to see that you are keeping the set list for the second leg of the tour because it
Yeah,
really is a great set list that you got for the first leg. So I'm glad to see that those that didn't get to check it on the first leg will be able to get those songs on this one.
yeah. Absolutely.
Uh,
Very
uh,
excited to play again.
no. Oh, definitely, and I can see it on your face. I can hear it in your voice. Like I can hear the excitement. Like being able to
It
talk
is
about this compilation, talk about touring the next
right.
album,
Yeah.
the festival circuit next year. There's so much to look forward to when it comes to ARP. I
Oh yeah,
mean, it's really exciting times.
the flame inside still burning there, you know. You can feel it, the audience can feel it. When I'm writing songs, I'm getting excited. When we play live, I'm excited. You know, I'm a lucky guy, you know. I pray to God every now and then. I say thank you for giving me this gift, you know, to write songs and actually to play a little guitar, you know. And I love it, you know. So it's not only my job, it's my passion, you know, and people can feel it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the my favorite things about you is like even after all these years, like working with different people, different styles, everything that goes along with it, I can still hear that passion in your playing. I can
Thank
hear it in your solos, I can hear it in the riffs, I can hear
you.
everything, whether it's a faster song, a ballad, a cover, that passion is still there. And I totally expect that on the next album when that happens. And I totally hear it through this culmination of ballads that's coming out in a few weeks. It's
That's
just
right.
like that passion's still there.
Yeah, it's there, it's there. I'm burning for that. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. And I think with that, I think that's an excellent note to end on. Just like that positive note of the
yeah,
Ballad Six coming out in just a few weeks now.
right.
Looking forward to a new album coming out sometime next year, most likely spring 2024,
Yeah,
the festival
yeah.
circuit, and of course the next leg of the European tour, which is going
That's
to be
right.
coming up
That's right.
soon.
And this will probably will even be bigger than this one, you know, because I think we don't have any pandemic going on there. Hopefully not. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. And more people coming out to the shows, more
right.
excited to play those shows. I mean, there's so much
Yeah.
to look forward to, especially in the world of ARP, whether you're in the band or you're just a fan like myself. There's so much to look forward to. And I thank you so very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about all of it.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much, Josh. Great interview. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I hadn't brought up yet?
No, no, you did great. Thank you.